Let me find the PowerPoint. And the PowerPoint is loading. Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity. In this session, I'm Tegar Septian Hidayat. Was a graduate from industrial engineering, and currently I'm the founder and chairman of the Tech Edes Group. In this session, we will have discussion about the human-centric innovation, modeling human data to Vanessa. We will discuss it in interactive way. So if you have any comment, any discussion or any question, let me know if you have it in middle of session. Don't go for the end of session. So we will discuss it about the birth of the human modeling. What is it and what is the definition of it? So and it will be of the related cases and the several example of the human modeling. So we will start our discussion with the basic question. What is the human modeling? Or anybody know what is the human modeling or what do you think about the modeling? Maybe several of you can answer it and or can give the comments about it. What is the human modeling?
I want to answer.
Okay.
Human modeling is simply using human as anthropometric accurate
Okay.
measurements to
Okay.
simulate the
Okay.
activities that is usually done in
Okay.
human life, such as maybe
Okay.
studying or using the computer
Hmm.
or maybe sewing the table.
Okay. Berarti anthropometric measurement to simulate their workstation and also their working tasks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Does anybody have the other comments? Maybe the additional from the previous answer.
Maybe I want to add some, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe the human modeling concern with how you design an environment, so you can predict or you can analyze the environment. So therefore, you can create an optimal environment to reduce the PEI score, for example.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. We'll start with the human modeling. This true, but we would like to go for the further definition. Yes. Basically, the human modeling is the any representation of the system. This is the all of the system. We call it as the modeling, and intuitively we are modelers. The start with the human brain start with our perception, with our judgment, that we call it as mental model. This is the part of the human modeling. We judge, we perceive, we understand, we try to catch the feeling, we try to catch the perception, we try to catch the model. That is the basic of the human modeling. How we try to mimic, to model, to simulate the people perception. That's the part of the mental model. That's the part of human modeling. That's the basic definition. However, in this mental model, this is intangible. We don't know what you perceive, what you feel, what will you think about something if you don't show us. However, we try to do in the tangible ways. We try to do uh, in the concrete ways. So we start to create the maps. Try to we try to create the box. We try to create the flow. We try to get the formula. We try to create the spreadsheet, and the latest we try to create the computer simulation model. But basically, the human will start with our perception, how we perceive the world, such as why or how do you perceive. Uh, I want to go to university. The first, before I go to the university, I have to simulate and I have to do model how I go to university with the with the fastest route and what the with the fastest time. That is the part of modeling. I try to simulate. I try to model the ways to go there. So this is the part of human modeling. However, with the rising of technology, with the rising of uh, digital equipment, we try to it in the computer simulation, such as we have Google Maps. In the Google Maps, you know how long you have to take it from your home into the university. You know how far you are from the your home to the university. This is the part of the computer simulation. But basically, people do it in the perception in their world. So in the modeling, there is no wrong and there is no true. This is the good quotes from the George book. Sorry, it's quickly loading. All models are wrong, but some are useful. The models in the degree is not about the wrong or true because all models are wrong, but the model is measured by the how it be useful to use, such as for the model of the map, for the model of the simulation, for the model of anthropometry, for the model of cognitive, and based of the human model, it's not just only for the human anthropometric, but it's we will discuss later. We will accommodate to the cognitive, to the social behavior, to the other aspect. We will discuss it later. But the human model also have the broad concept of the but basically we start human model based on our perception, based on our mental model. This is the part of the human modeling. So the challenge of our modeling, how to perceive it from the perception, from the intangible ways, from the abstract concept to the concrete modeling, and from the small data, small areas to the big areas. So we have called it as the big data. For example, we would like to simulate the working tasks of the process. We want to do the data processing not just for one individual, but for the several, even for the hundred or thousand of individuals. So this is the part of the modeling. We try to bring the concrete ways into the big data to modeling. In the modeling, so why we should care about it? Why it is important? If we look the broader areas of the human modeling, everything that's related to the human work, to the human activity related to the human modeling, such as if you think about the startup digital companies, if you think about the real activity, online shopping, for those who use the Gojek, Grab, or many others, multi-billion dollar companies in the world very good in understanding and modeling human data. Uh, Basically, what they use and what they process is the human data about the human behavior. Human behavior characteristics such as age, our buying behavior, our preference of the product, our walking behavior, and our transportation behavior every day. They process it, they capture it, they process, and they simulated it in the real way in order to get the insightful ways, such as how do you think Gojek or maybe GoFood can know your preference of the food, can know your preference of transportation, can know the daily activities of the user, such as what time they will go to the office or what time they will back from the office. This is the part of the human modeling. How to model the human data and translate it to the insightful ways. So because this is the interactive discussion, you may ask or you may comment it not in the end of session but in the middle of session. Does anybody have the comment or the feedback related of this context? Anybody? No?
So far, so good, sir.
Okay, yeah. Or if you're, or okay. So we would like to start, and we would like to start the human factor in the industry 4.0. This is the big. Maybe this is the big buzzword. Buzzword. Many people talk it. Many people discuss it. Many people try to talk it in. Yes, even if it's not related. However, human factor in industry 4.0, if you look at the gaps, if you look at the picture, we will see it try to embrace the human factors in the technology areas. We may say about big data, cybersecurity, cloud computing, IoT, additive manufacturing, hardware system integration, robotics, and many others that is related to the technology. But in the human factor, it plays a role in designing, such as the definition of industrial engineering, is designing, installing, and improving the human system. And the latest concept about the technology and human, we can say from the Japan, this is from Japan, the Society 5.0, where the people and technology embrace together to achieve goals such as the living of quality of life living, such as the decreasing of the human age and many others. The issues of in Japan, there's the rising of aging age. In Indonesia, if we compare in Indonesia, we have the more productive age than the old people. However, in the Japanese, on the contrary, they have more elderly people than the productive people. So they think it is the real problem. It is the weak problem. It is the one of the problem that need to be find the root causes. So they try to capture it in the using technology and how to embrace it in the human center. This is the combination of technology and human, where technology to support human and human play key role in designing, installing, and improving the technology to adapt their needs. This is the context of the human factors in Industry 4.0 and Society 4.0. So basically, if you look at the technology, we have to raise a basic question. Will technology replace or enhance the human role? What do you think, guys? Does anybody have answer? Want to comment about it?
Yes, I agree. It will enhance, sir.
Okay.
Because
By how?
as I usually as I usually read science fiction,
Okay.
human would use technology to augment themselves maybe in sensors or maybe in strength, or maybe as the industry 4.0 has engaged in the modern society, maybe in a few decades or so, human would directly connect to the internet without using a technology medium like phones or laptop. They can access with their mind, I guess.
Okay. How about the workforce in the future? What do you think?
I think in some aspects it would be replaced by technology, maybe in some form of processes, but maybe some processes might need the human touch, like details and variety, maybe, because at this point robots can only do you can say binary activities, that so they can't do a unique pattern to a product or a activity, in my opinion.
Okay. Agree. But how? Yes, just if you think about the technology, this is the very instructed base. So if then rules. So however, if we think or if we compare with the current technology and the previous world, we would like to compare. There, there, there are many vacancies or there are many positions in the workforce which haven't been previously there, and the current technology that have been there, such as social media specialists, who know or who think and who predict there will be social media specialists in the current technology if we compare with the 10 years ago, or with if we compare about the digital marketing specialists or the other vacancies such as the digital operation analysts. This is the digital and technology. However, on the contrary, maybe there are several positions or several workers that this basically this replace and not the replace. This is the transitional into the other position. So we would like to think about the what the technology and what the current generation digital using this human skill strength in 2015 until 2020. If you look and we compare about the 2015 and 2020, we would like there's an increase in the cognitive abilities need, system skills, technical skills. However, on the contrary, there is a decreased need in the physical abilities, such as for the manual work, such as for the manual lifting, and other areas that need to be do it in manually. However, there is relative stability or relative stagnant of the skill needs in the complex problem solving, such as what we do when we do to solve the problem, we would like to do in the complex problem solving, and we would like to do in the multidiscipline or maybe the multi-perspective. This is the basic of complex problem solving. So what you do in your tasks or what you do in your university life, it is about the complex problem solving. How do you coordinate with your friends? How do you do your tasks in the limited time, and how do you task with the certain goals? This is the complex problem solving, and we would like to do in the several perspectives, such as for the peer perspective or the team member perspective. This is the complex of problem solving, and maybe you don't do it in the individual way. You have to do in the multi-perspective way. This is the basic of complex problem solving. So, how do you think with the university life of the university task? this have prepared for you to prepare the complex problem solving skill? What do you think? It is already enough or not? Maybe anybody want to answer it? Have university prepared you for the complex problem solving skills?
Sir, in my opinion, university lectures may give us a base to start our study on, but to use the knowledge that we gain in the lectures in universities maybe not sufficient to help us to guide us in developing analytical results. In my opinion, this skill is better gained if we maybe it should be developed even more through practice.
Okay.
Yes, that's it, sir.
In what ways? The practice in what ways?
Maybe if there is a real-time problem, such as maybe take for example the pandemic that we are facing. Maybe in this problem we could use the knowledge that we gain in class in lectures for us to then develop analytical results or maybe any kind of results really for this with the studies that we did.
Okay. What do you think about the analytical skills? Or this is the statistic skills, or this is the competence skills, or this is the systematic problem solving? What the analytical the definition of here?
In what, sir? In what definition?
Yes. What is this? Yes. In what I is in analytical in what ways? Such as systematic problem solving, or use data driven, or what other?
It depends on the aspect. I think maybe for example in this.
Or what do you suggest from your perception? What do you suggest?
Maybe it's a bit of a mix and match. Maybe we should use one approach to one aspect of the problem, maybe another, like maybe database to search for a number of people that has contacted the virus, maybe, and use the other data to develop the trend lines and such.
Okay. Any other comments? Any other from the other people, maybe?
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Okay. Maybe anybody just have their other answer? Do you think university has prepared you for the complex problem solving or the other skills in the real life?
Maybe I totally agree with Almer, sir.
Okay.
But as we can see, we provide the complex problem solving through the lecturer all the class provided by the university. For example, like the MPKTR or MPKTB, they provide like a learning method, like a problem solving method using the PBL or using like the discussion, focus group discussion. Maybe I think the university are trying really hard to do this complex problem solving. So.
Okay. Do you think it is sufficient?
I think yes. Because we have so many platforms in supporting those activities. So what we need to learn is how to master that platform to achieve that complex problem solving skill.
Okay. Yes, thank you for the comments. However, yes, this is our challenge, how to prepare the human. Yes, this is the part, the human modeling, how to modeling the characteristics of the human. Human in this case are the students. The students have many different scales, many different perspectives, many different culture, such as for the millennial generation and baby boomer, and also for the generation Z, they have many difference, such as the how to perceive the lecturer, how to perceive the lectures, and how to engage in the study program. They have many differences. However, this is the part of the human modeling. How to model the human behavior, human data, student motivation, ability, perception into the curriculum of the programs. That's the part of human modeling, because we cannot design, as we go to the basic of the industrial engineering program. We cannot design, we cannot install, we cannot improve the study program or the curriculum program or the university program, because we know that, because we without understanding the human problem, because without understanding of the human data. This is the part of human modeling. How to model the human data into the some insightful ways in the program. So the next slide we will discuss about this is the further about the definition of the cognitive analytics, physical abilities, system skill, complex problem solving, process skill, content skill, and other skills. This is the basic. We design, we install, we improve with the emphasis of the human center to get and obtain the value added life, or value added activity, or value added test, or many others. This is the value added. Our emphasis of the human center. If we talk about technology, technology cannot be operated without the need of the human. This is the human center. We emphasize on the human center. So we would like to embrace the technology and human into the cohesiveness and togetherness as the system. However, we would like to the latest issue about the technology. These are the future technologies that related to the human center. How technologies and human can be embraced to achieve the common goals and the related objective. We will talk about the AR. This is the augmented reality. We'll discuss it later in the next slides. We talk about the IoT, Internet of Things. We would like to talk about the VR, virtual reality, about the gamification, about the big data, artificial intelligence, and also the blockchain. This is the part of the future of the engineering and the and also for the human-centered things. The human-centered is also related to what we say as machine learning. It's familiar now, the human learning, AI, such as for the, if you search, if you find something in the web, they can track from your history, they can track for your cache, they can track for your cookies, they can track from your daily activities in the web. And after they modeling your data, they can process it into the insightful ways, such as recommended system. For those who travel a lot and who Google a lot about the traveling, for traveling companies, for the traveling activities, or many beautiful places in the world, the machine learning system can recommend it. Oh, you will visit. You have to visit the website. You have to visit the website, or you have to open such as the travel site. This has the discount. This has the promotional program and many others. That's the part of machine learning. However, if we look like to compare the human learning and machine learning, it has the similarities, such as it have the input, processing, output. This is the base of the sensing, perception, and also it has the knowledge and output to be based on the insightful ways. However, in the machine learning and the AI, there's a challenge about the is our data is private. Who have the access of our data? Do you know if you compare, if you find and if you search into Google, who has your data? It is about Google or many third parties who have your data? Yes, this is the real question because our data is not my own. It's not our own because it has the many other. In some cases, this is good because they have it in the insightful ways and they have it to recommend the system or the many, yes, such as the many insightful website, many insightful recommendation system to ours. But on the contrary, we have to take it as the challenge and we have to take it as the warning because our data can be leaked into the third party contact. Such as issue in Google. If you are not in Google, but the latest issue about the Facebook. If you ever heard about the Cambridge Analytica, the Facebook user, the data of the Facebook user is be exploited by the Cambridge Analytica, which cooperated with the President Donald Trump in the U.S. political campaign. This is the the violation of the big privacy in the not only in the U.S. basically, it's the in the whole world. However, the leak in the U.S. because it's related to the presidential candidacy was. But however, such as the Facebook that data in the Facebook, basically the Cambridge Analytica used the data from the quiz we use in the Facebook, from the question we participate in the Facebook. That's very potential of the big data violation in the Facebook, not just in the Facebook, but of the maybe the Kubernetes in the IG, Instagram, and in the many other. Or in Indonesia, the issues here is about the using of Gojek. There's a claim or there's a blame in order to get the maybe either get the profit. Gojek used the certain points of their customer base. They use in many in other it's case of the selling the data profit of the user to the third party. So to get the profit, maybe this is the valid or not. Yeah, we have to validate it further. But however, data privacy is the real issue here. What do you think about this, guys? Or do you have comment, or do you think your data, such as your user data, is important or not? Or okay, let it be. I think let it be. What do you think, guys? You let it be, or you think it is a privacy, or you are the people who read the terms as agreement before you join or before you participate to the something program.
Okay, sir, maybe I do know that, for example, when we sign up to some platforms such as Google or
Yes.
maybe Yahoo, they collect all of our information. Then they collect all of our or their data user to some database. Then they try to like analyze the data to then they can sold it as a big data and sell it to other company, or as you may say, like the third party.
What do you think? This is the violation of privacy or not? Or yeah, yes, I think yes. I need it, and I think this is not problem. Or you think this is the problem?
I don't think it is a problem since we agree on that, and as as long as they don't sell our information outside of the common need. So I think it will be okay to have our information.
Okay, well, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody comments about it? Anybody have comment about it? Anybody? Mr.
I think hello. I think
Hello. Okay.
before like I think when we try to sign up for something or try to install something like an app, I think there's a privacy that we have to take, right? The when we want to sign up something, but
Mhm.
I think most of us like didn't read it, just take
Yes.
it. We didn't read it the what they are what is it the regulation what they like their privacy, and then we have to agree, but most of us like we don't read it. So basically when the our data is being like used uh like in Instagram, like when we try to find something at Tokopedia, and but when we open Instagram we can see like the ads that related on what we search in Tokopedia. So I think like it's it's depend on us too if
Mhm.
we have to make sure when we try to sign up for some apps or something, we have to read the privacy and the
Yes.
something the regulation.
Okay. Do you think the ads that's related to yes, the machine learning this be useful to your needs? The ads or the maybe in the Instagram we have the exploration page, explore page. This is useful or basic or your history. In the case of the ads is related to what you need based on your history.
I think it's uh I think somehow it's useful, but somehow it's like
Mm-hmm.
for me it's frightening because like sometimes like I talk with my friends about this thing and then it shows up in on Instagram. It's somehow
Okay.
it's kind of make me worried about the
Okay.
our privacy.
If
Yeah.
if the talks in the real or the talks in the social media or in the chat or the other platform, the talks in the real
Yeah, in the
or
real
in social media.
somehow.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And suddenly they
It
appear
shows
in
up. Yeah.
the okay. Okay. Yes. That's magic maybe.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like happened several times. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Maybe machine learning yeah, can model not just in your social media but your mind also. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, this is the part of the learning. So basically, this is not the yeah that this is not the controversy. In other case, we have to do it in the if we compare it, there are many activities that the can be delegatable to the human and delegatable to the machine and it's difficult for both. If you look about this graph, if you look about this picture, we can see there are activities that related to the human. That is easy to the human, but not delegable to the machine. Such as small talk, such as discussion, such as the maybe busy or yeah many other the small talks or chit chat. This is the easy of human, but not delegable to the machine. However, in the technology, current technology, there is technology. If you have heard about the chatbot, many already use it for for the chat friends. They use it to reduce the loneliness, reduce the maybe if you bored to the people, they use it in the chatbot. This is the part of the how how they use how the characteristic of the yes such as this we use it in the real talk with you we use it in the real discussion We use it in the real chat, but the chatbot use it and use the technology trying to replace it. However, there are many technologies. If we transition into the not delegable to the machine and difficult for humans, this is the enhance of the human world, such as creative writing, creative design, or maybe creative problem solving. This is the not delegable to the machine, but this is the difficult of human. So many peoples in the future, hopefully, can be transitioned to this area where they can take the creative problem solving, creative decision making in order to not delegable to the human. So we will have talked about the digitalization. We have talked about the industry 4.0. We have talked about the service 5.0. In the human-centered system under human modeling, there are many digitalization. It's about the physics, such as for you guys, we have uh, talked about the anthropometric measurement. We have talked about the genetic modeling. However, we also have the cognitive modeling. We also have about the psychophysiology. We also have about the behavior modeling. In order to get the accuracy, in order to get the efficiency, and in order the public accessibility, such as we have the example in the digitalization, many startup companies and many corporate trying to do or trying to collect as many as customers as their customer base in order to get public accessibility, in order to get the real valuation or to get the elevated valuation. They do it in the purposeful way. So we can see about the first case. Many of you have learned about it, about the Jack digital human modeling. This is the part and the most conventional of human modeling. Traditionally, when people talk about human modeling, people talk about the anthropometric human modeling. They talk about the manual manipulation of effort. They talk about the how to simulate the posture for the ergonomics work, how to simulate the simulation for the estimation of the joint angle for the is it meet the criteria of Rula or it is meet the criteria of OAS or is meet for the lower back analysis or not. Yeah. This is the most conventional and traditional of the human modeling because the physical areas is maybe this is the most concrete ways of if you talk about the angle of the posture, many people or the same people have the same standard, such as if you incline your head into the 30 degrees, many people consider it in the same ways. This is different if we compare it with the cognitive modeling. If we compare it to the behavior modeling, many people have the different perception. Many people have different standard about the same cases. So in the digital human modeling related to the physical, it is almost similar from the first people to second people or the many people or the other peoples. This is the most conventional of the human modeling. They use the same standard. Second, this is the case that the simulation for you have learned it in the Jack. Secondly, it is not the anthropometric, it is about the face detection. Commonly, it is used in the tracking system and the sleeping detection. in the vehicle example. The screen, the facial mimic, the screen, the facial control, the facial recognition, and they use the facial classification, and they use the face tracking. For the case of the sleeping detection, they use the tracking against the face detection. Do they meet or they meet the criteria? Do they meet the criteria of this is the sleeping areas or this is not the sleeping area? Yes, they do it in the real way. This is the part of the detection system and the face recognition. This is the part of physical, actually. Beside the physical, we also have the non-physical, such as the physiology. Our physiology consists of many things, such as for the biometrics, we think in our biometrics in the fingers, or that's what have been created before. If you look at the profile, this profile, we can look the criteria or characteristics of the whale, such as name, weight, height, or score, and the circumference, age, gender, and physical activity level into the prediction level of the disease. And in the system, we can get the recommendation based on our human modeling data as before. So this is the part of the how we use the machine learning, how we the artificial intelligence to predict the disease. Or in the latest issues about the COVID-19, the rising of technologies such as AI and machine learning try to mimic it, try to model the human behavior or human characteristic or human comorbidities, such as do they have diabetes, do they have the high tension, do they have the such as the kidney problem, and what criteria of the people which can we categorize to the high risk people, medium risk people, or low risk people. Yes, they use it. However, it's basic of the pilot testing, because in Indonesia the our difficulties is use the data driven. We don't have the abundance data. We don't have the enough data to do it or to simulate it to get the insightful ways. But yeah, this is the pilot. Still early. Then hopefully we can expect it. We can simulate it in the real ways using the technology to get the insightful ways to prevent or to promote the activity of the health. Yes, the contoh. This is the how we embrace human data, such as lifestyle, genetics, diet, also social media, omics data, wearable technologies such as Fitbit or Apple Watch, Mi Watch, and many tracking gadgets. Use it from the platform, we use from the artificial intelligence, and we use it to the such at the precision of cardiovascular medicine. Do you add high risk in developing disease? Do you add medium risk at developing disease, or do you have low risk? This is our challenge now. We transition from the physical modeling to the psychophysiological modeling in order to get the insightful way to the preventive and promotion program of the health activities. The third, we talk about the cognitive modeling. Cognitive modeling is about modeling related to our human brain activities. For those of you who have maybe who have tried the EEG, electroencephalography, or have been a respondent in the people research. This is the EEG. EEG can be used to model our brain activity such as this is the graph. The graph be used to model our data. The output can be categorized into several activities such as the stress level. Do we have enough stress to be categorized as the high stress, or how do we engage to the certain activities, or do we have interest into the several activities or excitement focus, or do we relax to the certain activities? This is the part of the cognitive modeling. It's try to mimic, it's try to model our brain activities into the insightful ways in order to design it in the impactful ways, such as we compare uh, we compare the we compare the stress activities among people who have reside in the such as in the online learning activities and in the inside activities such as the common or usual class. What stress or how we compare it in the real ways? Is it significant? Is it significant for the online learning to reduce the stress or not? Or on the contrary, is the online learning tend to increase the workload level or not? Nah, we can model it in the EEG. We use gathering data, we use collecting data, and we use the modeling of the human data. This is the part of the cognitive modeling. For the real activity, we can try it in modeling of the consumer perception. This is the emerging field about the consumer neuroscience or neuromarketing, about our buying decision to buy something. In the maybe in the US, many people or many scholars propose the concept of the biology buying or membeli, buy to ology or the knowledge biology. What make us choose? Do we choose the product offer the something in the rational ways, or we do it in the emotional ways? This is the product usability. Studies have some usability or have some activity in the brain area can predict in the future popularity of the product of experience. Or we can say that uh, the success of the product can be decided based on the brain activities of the people who use it. It is the interesting topic to be researched in the context of Indonesia. How do you compare the success or the bestseller products comparing to the common or normal product of the? Is it significant difference? Is it any significant difference between user among the fanatic users who use it? So I would like to know, what do you think are the people who have fanatism into the several products or in the several brands can have certain activities in their brain areas, or maybe you have the fanatism or many have the brand in the product brand evangelist, that is the fanatism of the product. Do you have it? Do you have the prefer the certain brand over the something or not? What do you think, guys? Do you have certain fanaticism or not?
For me, I think no, sir.
Okay, amazing. You have the common or what your preference into the server of the product. What your preference criteria? This is about the price. This is about the quality or brand or something.
I think when choosing a product, what needs to be considered is the product quality and the cost itself.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the two main
How do you
factors.
measure?
Sorry, sir.
How do you define the product quality? It's about the durability. It's about the appearance, or it's about the something. What do you define about the quality? Because quality,
Maybe
it's quite abstract here.
okay, maybe we can say that some things have quality is if
Yes.
we see that the product doesn't have many defect on its product,
Okay.
and maybe it can be considered in the durability, maybe, or yeah, maybe.
Mm,
Yeah, that's my opinion.
okay. For the standard, do you have any preference standard instead of the other products? Preference, such as the brand, such as the yes for the fashion or for the fashion or the for the gadget, such as Apple other than other appliance.
Yeah, maybe we can take example from the electronic gadget, like Apple and Samsung. They compete each other, trying to create a product that is compatible and
Mm,
competitive in the market.
okay. Yes. Yeah. Or yes. Yes. This is the good opportunity for us or for the researcher or for who would like to explore. Is there any difference between the people who can be fanatism user or who can be the normal people? Fanatism is different or not in their data of the brain activation. In the several research studies have shown that the such as the best uh, I forget about for the Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola have more brain activities comparing to the Pepsi because in the US maybe it's different in Indonesia because Coca-Cola have the customer base in the US. They have strong fanatic users. They have strong base users, and in their brain activities they have sought the strong correlation in the Coca-Cola. Or we can take example of the Harley Davidson. Harley Davidsons have the real fanatism comparing to the other motorcycle companies. They have strong fanatism in their customer base. In many research, in artists, they compare it. They compare how the strong the brand with the religion in the in the artists. They have shown that for the many people, the strong of the brand popularity, the strong of brand and engagement is almost the same level as long as their fanatism to their religion. The overseas, they say as the brand evangelist. Evangelist is such as the one of the uh, one of the maybe of the fanatism in the certain region. This is the brand evangelist. And the studies, this is the interesting point if we compare it in the context of Indonesia. Maybe it's different or not. And yeah, if you think you have interest. So about the human modeling, we have to know about the expression in the stand areas. Expression of the happiness in some Eastern cultures are expressed as the sense of the call and sprees, whereas in some of the Western cultures, happiness means jumping around with the joy excitement. So, human modeling can also about the different of expression, different of perception. This is the part of the human modeling. So it's about the UX or usability for those who have experience with it. This is the part of the human modeling, how we perceive it in the usable ways. This is the part of the cognitive modeling. So we have talked about the physical modeling. We have talked about the cognitive modeling. This is one of the emerging about the human modeling, human behavior modeling that related the social behavior modeling. When we think about the modeling, we think it in the intrapersonal, such as the individual things. In the social behavior modeling, we think it in inter-individual modeling. We think it the how people interact with others. How do people transmission of ideas, transmission of the disease, or transmission of many other things to the others. We say it as the social behavior modeling. And in the COVID-19, it is very, very relevant. How the transmission, how the people interaction is giving the important role in the disease transmission. This is the part of human modeling as we have done. This is the COVID-19 flight manager simulator. This is the simulator. How we simulate, how do we model, such as the contact period among the people, how we model a duration, how we model the fraction of the detection in the people, and we compare in the right column. We compare it in the 1 month, and we compare it the case in the 3 months. We compare if we don't do it in the early ways, there are many victims or there are many patients who can be hospitalized. This is the part of the human behavior modeling. So we have discussed about the three main areas. We have discussed about the physical modeling. We have discussed about the cognitive modeling. And we have discussed about the physiology modeling. And the latest we have discussed about the social behavior modeling. Any questions so far? Or any discussion that you would like to answer or you would like to comment until this slide? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay. It is clear enough?
Yeah.
Or you should still process it?
Yeah, so maybe I still have confusion at this social behavior modeling, like how you determine the parameters, like how you determine how the infectivity rate, how you determine the incubation period.
Or for this case, it is based on the WHO report.
Oh, I see.
Yes, sir. Because Indonesia, yes, such my opinion, Indonesia don't have or they documented it in the well designed ways. We don't have the documented system. We don't have the data driven method in here. So basically, we use it in the overseas method.
Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, like in Indonesia, they can easily manipulate the data. Like for example, they say that the people who got infected by the virus are over 2,000 people, but in fact, I believe that there are a lot more of people who get infected. So how can you consider that aspect to create this social behavior model?
For this case, if you see, there is the asymptomatic fraction. Asymptomatic fraction is the fraction between the people who undetected and the people who detected. We can try or we can simulate the scenario here, such as Such as if we undetected is the 2 multiplied by 2 comparing to the detected, we can say from this
I see. I
that
see.
there are one, yeah, 1 to 1, or yeah, because yeah, this is the scalar, this modeling, because we don't have the real data, we don't have the enough data, or we don't have the valid data. Yeah, this is the our challenge.
Okay.
Okay, any other question maybe, or any other to be discussed before we go to the next slide? Okay, we go to the next slide. So this is there are big things from the human modeling to the human solution. We will discuss about the others with for those of you have already learned about this design thinking, have already learned about the system thinking, have already learned about the change management. This is our challenge: how to fill the gap in the state of the art, in the novelty, in the myth of the challenge, because the complexity of the problem we need to think it in the different ways, or we need to think it in the innovative ways. So this is our solution, or this is our, maybe this is our purpose in the next weeks. We will discuss about the virtual reality, we will discuss about the augmented reality, and we will discuss about the alternate reality. Have you ever heard about the virtual reality, guys? Or augmented reality or alternate reality?
Yes, a little.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you heard? What do you think about it?
So from my experience,
Mhm.
I became a Albert respondent for
Okay.
this. So I try
Mhm.
wear the virtual reality camera, and I experience some of the environment he created to collect
Mhm.
garbage from the flooding in Jakarta. So I think
Okay,
it's
right.
very pleasant experience for me because it is my first time. So I think yeah,
Okay.
virtual reality can really be the future for our society.
Okay. What do you think of its impact?
You can easily create a
Mhm.
virtual environment. For example, if you want to model something, for example, if you want to simulate something, it will be much easier using this virtual reality.
Okay. Based on your perception as a respondent, is it a difference for you those who do the uh, treadmill,
Yeah.
or yes, elliptical trainer
Yeah.
between in the virtual environment and comparing to the real case? It is different or not?
It is very
Yes.
different
In positive or negative way?
in the positive way because
Okay.
yeah, when you create a virtual reality, it really depends on how skillful you are when creating that environment. So the more skillful you are, the more good the environment is. So you have to be skillful to be able to create the perfect environment to imitate the real one.
Okay. Okay. For the augmented reality, have you ever
Uh,
heard about the
no, not yet.
okay? Or are anybody have the other comment? Anybody? Okay, we continue. Okay, this is the first case of the virtuality, and in the Albert case is the part of the virtuality that are also the using the ethical training or treadmill to use the simulated way in the real flooding, such as the using the points in the flooding way. We will discuss it later in the next week in the gamification. So, however, virtuality can be used for the many areas in the health, education, in the management, marketing, and many areas. In order to get the real environment, to mimic the real environment into the equipment. In this case, this is the one of the case. How do we use virtual reality for cognitive enhancements? Cognitive enhancements means such as decreasing the risk of getting dementia, or we say it as pikun, or this is the part of cognitive enhancement. We can re-engineer our brain. We can enhance our memory. We can enhance our attention. We can enhance our focus, flexibility, and also creativity. This is the part of cognitive enhancement. We can re-engineer or manipulate in the positive ways, manipulate our perception, manipulate our thinking into the better ways. However, the fatality is not only used for the health, it's for the phobia. For those who have phobia, such as for the hate phobia, such as for the spider phobia, or for the darkness phobia, claustrophobia in the darkness, we can use it to mimic the real environment, to mimic the real system into the virtual environment. Does anybody have the phobia here? Or not only phobia, or the fearness of, for the sometimes as fearness of the public speaking, fearness of the in the public place, or many other fearness? Or do you have any ideas based on our recent discussion? What can be used, or what virtuality can be used to the impact of the something?
Maybe
Mhm.
my experience, I have phobia when seeing a blood.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for me, I think when this virtual reality thing, like all of this virtual thing, can really help me to, for example, to
Okay.
reduce my phobia of when seeing a blood. For example,
Mhm.
maybe we can construct an environment where in that virtual
Mhm.
reality you can see the act
Mhm.
blood. So you try to interact with that blood. So maybe during overtime you will learn how to reduce my pain or reduce my phobia by using that
Mhm.
functionality. Maybe I think.
Okay. Okay. Why you have phobia to the blood
Uh,
in
I,
about the color, appearance, or
I think it is because of the smell and the texture of it and the color also. Yeah.
okay, the smell.
Yeah.
Oh, this. Okay, the color, or
Yeah, and the color.
okay. Maybe it's good if you have to idea to do further research.
Yeah.
Maybe people, yeah, many people, I don't know, or how many fraction of people who have experienced the same experience. But it is the interesting and also the insightful to be explored, if you have to do it, if you want to do it.
Yes, yes.
It's interesting. Yes, the is the part of the virtuality. We can say it. This is the next about the. This is the next about the augmented reality. If in the virtuality we try to simulate the real system into the 3D or to digital environment, on the contrary, augmented reality try to bring the 3D or the virtual environment to the real life, such as the hit games about the Pokemon Go. If we play, we can capture and we can obtain the Pokemon monster in the several different places. This is the part of augmented reality. Or in this case, we use augmented reality to capture the posture simulation to capture the virtual simulation, in this case about the physical activity, when we screen or when we capture the picture. This is the augmented reality. When we scan the picture, we can obtain the posture simulation. Or if you use the Snapchat, we have filler. We have filler and feature such as the hat, such as the glass, using the facial recognition. This is the part of the augmented reality. Or the technology where, however, this is not the really full implemented, but it's emerging. If we scan the book, we can simulate the videos, not just the book, not just the text, but also the videos of the book. It's like the videos or video books of the, not just the text. It is the part of augmented reality. We can capture, we can simulate the 3D virtual environment into the real life. Or in the manufacturing, if you scan the number of the machine, they can show the videos, they can show the interactive ways about the equipment number, about the original of the region, about the duration, and many others. There are emerging technologies. We can compare it with the virtuality, and we also, and not just the comparing, because we can also combine the combining of the virtual and the mixer and the augmented reality. We say as the mixed reality is the mix. We can use the 3D environment. We can also use the 3D environment into the real life. This is the mixed environment. It's very, very, very emerging in the future. And the next, this is the future can be explored. This is what we have done, game-based mechanism to happiness enhancement. We try to use it to reduce depression. We try to do it to help the people to focus their attention when they do the tasks using the game-based mechanism. This is one of the emerging, using the game mechanism to happiness enhancement. As you said about the Albert research, they do it. They use he used the game-based mechanism using virtual treadmill, using virtual ethical trainer, to use it in the storyline about the flood, where the user have to take the points on the flood, where do have to or have to do wash this properly using the game-based mechanism. This is the part of the game mechanism. And for the game-based mechanism, we will discuss it in the details for the next meetings in the gamification discussion. This is the continuity of the game-based mechanism. This about the alternate reality, gamifying the reality. We try the gamifying, we try to using points, we try to make it as game, the real life, the real activities that we have to do in the real life into the game-based mechanism. For the details, we would like to discuss it in the next meeting. For the alternate reality and how to build it. So after this discussion, hopefully we have captured the big concept. It's not go in the details. We have captured the concept of what human modeling. What is it? What the broad thing that they have to accommodate? What the real example they try to model and try to simulate? And hopefully in the next meetings we try it in the how to build it in the real ways. Hopefully, okay. For until this slide, there is any question so far? If there want to like to clarify, discuss, or ask until this slide. Hello, until this slide. Is there any question?
Sir, I
Anyone?
wanna ask. So I think I'm kind of confused between the alternate reality, sir.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
to be clear,
Okay.
what's the difference between the augmented reality and alternate reality, sir?
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Yes. Okay. What is your we we can imagine what is our daily activities such as cleaning home, such as doing a sport, doing physical activities in every day, or we have to eat food and we have to vegetable. However, for mostly of the people, we don't do it in the real, or we don't do it in the properly way. So we try to using the gamification, or we try to using the this is the reality, but we try to use the game based mechanism. For example, if you do physical activity, you get the points, or if you do eating fruit, you get the points. Or when we was in high when we were in senior high school, we will get the points for the good deeds, or we get the bad points for the bad deeds. That's the part of the gamifying the reality. Basically, we got the points, we got the reward, we got the punishment for the good or the bad deeds that we use already. We do the part of the reality. This is the reality is real. Reality is not the game. Reality is the daily activities we did. However, we use the game mechanism to how to increase the engagement of the daily activity in order to be like as the game. This is the part of the alternate reality. Such as if you what motivate you to keep studying? Hello?
Score for the score.
Yeah. Yes, for the score. That's the part of the game in reality. But gamifying reality is also have the degrees of the preference. Does the score make you keep motivated, or will make you keep are you or make you pressure? That's the real case. This is the another case now. This is the gamification or gamifying reality have the many details that can be discussed about it for the next weeks. So we will
Oh,
discuss it details in it about the next weeks about the alternate reality. We'll discuss it how to build it, how we perceive it, what criteria do we recommend, what the is it about the points or is it about the other things? Such as if you would like to study, it is uh, we just we just case we just find or we just target the good points or others such as skills or others. Maybe is have the different perspective or different criteria here. This is the part of alternate reality. How to make reality such as a game. As if it a game, it have point, it have level, it have the story to make people motivated to do it. Not is the enforced way, but in this purposeful ways. This is the basic of the alternate reality. Because yeah, however, we can explore it in the next meetings. Okay,
okay, sir.
I have sent the ebook to the Andi Andi about the book Reality is Broken.
Yes, I already sent it to the group.
Yes. For the alternate reality for the next meeting, I recommend for you guys to read it before we go to the next meeting. Reality is Broken is the part of the give you perspective about the alternative before we discuss it in the next meeting.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other question before we close the session? Any other question?
No.
Anyone?
Okay.
Stanislas,
Any other?
maybe?
No, I don't
Sorry.
have questions.
No?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Mr. Tegar, thank you for your presentation today. You may close the presentation and maybe see you next week, Mr. Tegar.
Okay. Yes. Sir. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for